Let's bring in Michael Vick, who joins us. Mike, thanks for joining us. You remember your first car?
Do I remember my first car?
Yeah. What was it?
Nissan Stanza. Got
Okay.
it my freshman year in college. Yeah.
How did that play with the ladies with a Nissan Stanza?
I mean, listen, Dan. When you got four wheels, I mean, and somebody else don't minus four wheels, then you win it. So look, I mean, I can pick you up and take you on a date. That's all that matters.
What did you get when you went to the NFL?
My first vehicle I purchased when I went to the NFL was a Lincoln Navigator, and that's when they had first came out.
Ooh.
And the funny thing is, when I first got it, for like the first 3 months, I just couldn't believe it was my truck. You know, going from a Nissan Standard to a Lincoln Navigator, you talking about a car that I paid, $1,100 for, as opposed to a car that was around $60,000. You know, it was a bit overwhelming. But, it was an amazing purchase, I will tell you that.
What was it like first time you went out with the Falcons owner, Arthur Blank?
It was very intimidating. I was, 22 years old, but he loosened up the mood. He talked way more than I did, and I was very nervous, not wanting to say the wrong things and wanting to say the right things. And
did you think you had to pick up the check?
What's that?
Did you think you had to pick up the dinner check?
Do I think he led to?
No. Did you think that you had to pick up the dinner check that night when you went out with Mr. Blank?
Yeah, only because at that point I was being employed by the Atlanta Falcons. He was the owner, and I really thought that because he was paying my bills and because he was employing me, that I needed to cover the bill. So I tried to cover it at first, and he was like, "No, I got it." And, that's when I learned to just kind of don't rush it. If somebody wants to present a nice gesture to you, then you just let it happen naturally.
I wanted to have you on for a couple of reasons. First of all, we talk about these quarterbacks who, like Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray, where they're really good runners, but then eventually you're going to have to be good from the pocket. How difficult was that where you can run, you can make plays, but you might be better for your longevity and the team by staying in the pocket and then trying to throw? How tough was that transition for you?
You know what? The transition wasn't tough for me because I felt like in college we used my running abilities and my passing abilities almost to an even par standard. When I got to the NFL, it was more pass heavy, and not as much running. If you was running, you was improvising. And when I think back on my career, all I wanted to do early was become a better passer because I seen that it advanced the ball down the field a little more. As I ran the ball more, it was more painful. I was sore. I was sore at night, not feeling good, and then I just came to the conclusion that, if I became a better passer, I would protect myself, I would feel a lot better, and we would advance the ball down the field a lot faster. And it looks better, from a quarterback perspective. So, it was very early then when I realized that I needed to change as a player. And it started in like 2002, 2003, that season. And Dan Reeves and I had a conversation, and I just told him, Coach, call the plays for me like you called them, for your guys in the past, Elway, Chris Chandler. And he did it, and I became a much better passer.
Who was your idol growing up playing quarterback?
My idol growing up was Steve Young. I was a San Francisco 49ers fan. Steve Young just happened to be a lefty by coincidence. And, I felt like, if I wanted my game to look like anybody's, I wanted it to look like his, especially after that run in Minnesota that he had early in his career that I don't think anyone will ever forget.
Now, you're right-handed. You didn't become left-handed just so you could be like Steve Young, did you?
No. Well, when my dad put a football in my hand when I was 8 years old, I was throwing it with my left hand, and he kept trying to make me throw it with my right hand. He thought I was throwing it with the wrong hand. Maybe he just didn't know. So he kept putting it in my left. I'm like, Dad, it just feels better throwing it on this side. And, so that was my evolution as a left-handed QB. And I'm glad that I didn't change, because there's no way you can go from being left-handed to right-handed or vice versa throwing a football or in any sport.
But also,
unless you're very gifted.
But why is it different coming off a left-hander's hand? Receivers talk about getting a ball from a left-hander as opposed to somebody who throws right-handed.
Yeah, it's a different spin, and especially when it's coming with some velocity, the ball gets up on you really, really quick. From what I've been told. But the great receivers, it only takes them about a day or two to get adjusted. I think the guys who adjusted to my ball the fastest was Roddy White and Deshaun Jackson. And Jeremy Maclin did a good job with it, too.
You said that Lamar Jackson's a spitting image of you?
Yeah, I think so. If you look at Lamar's game and just his explosiveness from the pocket, the things he do within the pocket, and you go back and watch some of my film, if you just watch the games, all 4 quarters, you will see similarities in so many different areas. And, Lamar's an exceptional talent. I like the way they're using his talent in Baltimore, and I think it's going to take him a long way as far as his career. What I do realize is that, he gets down when he needs to. Sometimes he takes the unnecessary shots, but that's adrenaline. And that's something you can't take away from him right now.
I don't know if you saw this, but Kirk Cousins apologized publicly to Adam Thielen after Thielen said that, Kirk Cousins missed some throws there. They become one-dimensional. How surprising is that? Why is Kirk Cousins apologizing publicly to Adam Thielen? It's not like he tried to overthrow him or miss him. So I'm surprised at that.
I think that's a class act move from Kirk Cousins. First of all, I respect him for that. And what Kirk understands is that, look, we have the ball in our hands every play. And it's our responsibility to get the ball to the receivers, orchestrate the offense, make sure that everything flows. And maybe he missed them a couple of times and just feel bad about it. I felt bad when I used to miss throws. Never apologized publicly. I would do it in private. But I think that's a class act move. It shows leadership. It shows that he's taking the reins of everything that he's doing and taking it seriously, and want to fortify his position moving forward. So I think it's a great leadership move, and hopefully they'll get it back on track.
You can catch Michael Vick on Fox NFL Kickoff. That's Sundays at 11 a.m., 8 a.m. Pacific on Fox. Cam Newton's situation, I've said that if, Cam is not able to be that two-headed monster being able to run and throw, and he's just going to be a pocket passer, then I wonder what his NFL future is. If Cam's not able to run the way he once did or not willing to run the way he once did, what do you think that does for his effectiveness with Carolina?
I think it takes away from what Cam brings as far as his attributes. We've known Cam for being this big, strong, powerful runner, Superman type of player, and that's what he's shown over the years. I would just hate to see Cam not being Cam, and hopefully Cam can come to the realization realistically, if I can't be myself, then what's the best option for myself and this team? And I think Cam's a smart man. I think he'll figure it out. Fortunately for him, he has the time because of the great quarterback play right now, where he can go out and he can take his time and work his way back into the lineup if it comes down to it. But he can get healthy, most importantly.
I want to know how good a basketball player you were and how good a football player Allen Iverson was. If you guys switched sports, who had a better chance of playing professionally?
If we switch sports, I think Allen. He was a much better basketball player than me. I was about a B-, B+ player. He not getting attacked the rack, and I had to jump when I got hot. Allen was an amazing football player, and he could devastate in so many ways. Very elusive. I just don't think he would have got the size to play in the NFL. I think probably at his heaviest, he probably could have gotten to 185, 190. That's not enough at the quarterback position. So, respectively, we both chose the right professions, and we knew what direction we wanted to go in and what sport was best for us.
Yeah, but Iverson played now. He'd be Kyler Murray, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would be. Now, one thing I will say is that he was dangerous, like I said. I mean, I don't know. Kyler's still a little bigger. Kyler's about 200 and look like 7 or 8 pounds, give or take. I just don't think Allen would have got that size, honestly.
You're 39, and you're not the fastest guy in the NFL, or you wouldn't be the fastest guy in the NFL, but who would be faster than you right now?
Right now, I think Lamar would be faster than me. I think Kyler probably will be faster than me.
Probably.
I mean, I'm not probably. And
Deshaun Jackson?
Yeah, Deshaun Jackson for sure. I mean, he's still 32. That's not considered old in the NFL. And there's a couple speed demons that's still out there too. But when I think about some of the guys who's running and moving around, the way they do it, I probably could still do it. It would have to take a year of training to get back in shape just to be able to look somewhat like I used to.
Could you run a 4.5 after breakfast?
Yeah. If you catch me after the first meal of the day, I can put something on you. I can lay down a high 4 or 5. If you catch me after lunch, then who knows? Eating different these days.
If you ran backwards and Brady ran forwards, would you beat him in a 40?
No, I wouldn't disrespect him like that.
That's not a no, by the way. You're choosing not to answer it.
Look, if we take it back to the combine days, then probably because I watched Tom's 40 at the combine. I mean, who would have known when that guy was running that 40-yard dash that he would never have to use that 40 ever in a career game. And he would turn out to be one of the greatest of all time. So back then, running back I would have beat him on that day, yes. Sure.
But, Mike, I don't understand why the 40 is that important anymore, because how often do you run a 40-yard dash? If I'm a lineman, I don't care about you running a 40. As a running back, I want to know how quickly you get to the hole. I think 10 yards is more important than 40 yards to me.
Yeah, I think the 40-yard dash is specifically important for defensive backs, receivers, safeties, guys who really have to pursue to the ball. As a quarterback, a running back, we don't have to burst as much. For a running back, it's to and through the hole. How fast can you get through the hole? And that's not with blazing speed, but for defenders that have to break on the ball, I have to run with a receiver, a DB having to run with a receiver, and a receiver having to beat a DB. That's when the 40-yard comes into play on that vertical stretch.
We had Brett Favre on. He turns 50 next week, and I said, at age 50, can you throw at 60? And he said, oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I know for sure Brett Favre can throw it. Probably can still throw it 60 yards. He still look like he's not in the best shape, but, I mean, he still look like he don't look bad. He don't look like he's overweight or anything like that. Brent still look good, and you see him on all these commercials throwing the football. That means he still loves to throw the ball.
Yeah, but you see who's rushing the passer on those commercials, Michael.
Yeah, absolutely nobody. But, we know Brent was a magician at the position, for sure.
Hey, great to talk to you, as always. Have fun this season, and tell the folks at Fox NFL Kickoff we said hello.
I will. Thanks, Dan. Thanks for having me.
That's Michael Vick, Fox Sports NFL analyst. First pick of the Falcons back in that 01 draft. First quarterback to rush for 1,000 yards in a season.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.